84.
Great news! Spectra Plus is now rolling out internet and TV services in St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yes, better service and better prices from the new and improved Spectra Plus. Spectra Plus TV plans for $59.99 per month, VAT included. Adult TV 3 channels plus $29.99. For more information, call 1784-534-2551 or 1784-532-2501. Fast, reliable broadband and television services for your home or business. Spectra Plus TV, internet, better.
Welcome to the biggest conversation on this side of the globe from Big Hill Radio Station. Beginning Monday, the 25th of October 2021 and continuing every week, Mondays and Fridays. It's the biggest conversation right here on Bay Hill Radio Station. Bell the nation, bell the nation, bell the nation. We're going to be talking solutions. So why not tune in and make your contributions? Bay Hill Radio, giving the best expressions of you.
To call into the Hills News Network, the number to dial is 1784-529-8518.
Georgia, me love you. Keep me strong up when the wicked them are trying to overcome. Yeah. Thank you for life, Georgia. Oh yeah. I feel so happy today. Yeah. Thank you for life. No, Georgia. I feel so happy today.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey,
Good
girl,
evening.
come
Hello.
on. Today's biggest conversation is right here on Bay Hill Radio Station. Hello. Hey, girl, come on. Today's biggest conversation is right here on Bay Hill Radio Station with your host, the one and only Doris Charles.
Well, hello there. Hello there. Welcome. Welcome to the program. Another exciting and insightful time awaits for the next hour and a half. Welcome to wherever you are, wherever my voice is heard. Welcome. Thank you for listening to Big Hill News Network, coming live and direct to you. Wherever you are, go get a cup of tea or something, glass of water, and let's sit and have a conversation for the next hour and a half. My name is Doris Charles, your hostess for this evening's program. And as usual, we begin today with a thought. That's very special thought that will be synonymous with this program. Build the nation. And the thought is, He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly. What is morally right or fair, that's what you're going to do. To act justly. And to love mercy. And to walk humbly with your God. You might be asking this evening, what is the focus of this Bell Nation radio program? It's a talk show with a difference, as we had said some time ago. And I insist on telling you a little bit more about it this evening. The term Bell Nation, Bell the Nation, is coined by me so as to reflect that moment when I was inspired to get a bell and ring it out as I walk the streets from Kittle to Kingston. And that started sometime in August. And I want to get a taste of the bell. Mashing up this place in the nation, you know, and I walked that day for those who couldn't walk, but who wanted to protest against the ills of society. When we look at agriculture and education and tourism and technology and the government of the day and its resources, man, I had to ring the bell. You know, and the general interaction among our youths and family life and nutrition and gang violence and rape and incest and domestic violence and you name it, arguments among neighbors, disrespectful behavior with men and women, so much more. So I build the nation. I made it known that there are other Vincentans like myself who dare to care. So Bell, the nation belongs, Belly Nation. But there are some persons who met me some time ago and they were questioning. I want to leave a nice little message, and that is, I'm a girl from the valley, a little girl from a village called Vermont, on the leeward side of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And there are many little girls like myself who one day would come out from a village, become educated, and then learn the ropes as to how to change their society and go back as I am doing. You know, I want a message to go to those young ladies, especially young ladies. Something has changed within me. These few words are inspired by Idina Menzel. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. And this is what Belly Nation is all about. It's too late now for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes and leap. And leap I did when I rang that bell. It's time to try define the gravity imposed by a malfunctioning society, a malfunctioning economic system. Others who say I can't, and so you can't pull me down. You can't. Can't I make you understand? To the naysayers, I'm through accepting limits because someone says they are such and such. You don't defy my reality and the reality of those young men and women, especially young women who sit or who have been able to be in a situation where they think, oh, all is lost, all is not lost. And inspired by the words of Idina Menzel again, some things I know I cannot change, but until I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love and friendships, of losing myself. I guess I've lost trying to open the eyes of those whom I love. I guess I love you, St. Vincent, not guess, but I know I love you, St. Vincent. And I spent years working at the High Commission in London, working in the public service, working within St. Vincent and the Grenadines to prove how much I do love this country. The cost of sitting in my rocking chair and doing nothing comes at much, how do you put it? There's a lot of cost to that. Just sitting in my rocking chair and doing nothing, it comes at too much. The cost is too high. And so I build the nation. I build the nation. I will build the nation again. Look, there's no fight we cannot win. Whoever they are, they'll never bring us down. And so you choose to listen to Belly Nation this evening, and this is great. I really hope you get it. Yes, you and me won't regret it. So if you care to find me, look for me within the conversations of every inspired Vincentian youth, every inspired Vincentian man, boy, woman, girl. Every one of us deserves the chance to participate in this country. I know that I'm not flying solo. To those who try to ground me, take a message back from me. Take a message back from us, and that is tell them how I am defying the odds through Belly Nation. And soon this program will match them in renown. And nobody in all the world, no Winstead, no one who is anyone that there is or was, is ever going to bring me down. I will build the nation. By extension, I will build the nations everywhere. I trust you had a good day. I trust you had a good day. And so, one of our Vincentian persons, thousands of us, we really care. But many of us are silent. We sit in silence and we don't know what else to do because of fear. But we care enough about the state of our society, state of our country. We don't like how things are going. Many voted for a government or change of government that should have our best interest at heart. But obviously, people are crying out for a new vision. Belly Nation is interested in change of government, change of how people think of themselves, ourselves, as Vincentians, and our relationships to each other. And in this day and age, it can happen for those who may think that all is lost. Build a nation! Build a nation! Build a nation is well positioned to help us review, reassess, and rethink and reshape a vision for our people. It's the voice of a movement that you, the listeners, can be part of, the National Liberation Movement. As time progresses, you will hear from us. You will hear about us. And I know you will join us for the successful liberation of our country. I want to borrow from great Bob Marley when he said, emancipate your minds from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. The Honorable Marcus Garvey. None but ourselves can free our minds in the ways in which we think about our own self. Only you stop you. Only you can stop you from becoming. And so, my brothers and sisters, sign up, join us in this movement. Your voice counts. All men and women willing to recreate this insanity grenadine that we want to be proud of once again. Build the nation, build the nation. A talk show with a difference that will continue to highlight issues and solutions for our problems. And remember, you can call us at any time. And the number to call us is 529-8518. 529-8518.
Yeah, before.
And so we have with us this evening Rash Tata from the program Cocoa Tea and Bread. You're still drinking cocoa tea all now? You don't stop drinking cocoa tea. So we want to welcome you into the studio with us this evening. Yes, a few words from you. Yes, go ahead.
I don't know why this Empress keeps straying away from telling the people exactly who she is and where she came from.
Don't stray away from that, man. I just stray away from that.
Yes. Tell me how you do have Now we're talking about a sister here who those of us know
Yes.
Black River,
Mhm.
right? We talk about that we used to cross Black River and go up to the mountain, they will ship rice and bring all kind of.
But it's true, you know. That's very true.
So now we
That what must be years ago. Then you should something years ago.
under your roof,
Yeah, that is my age.
they where
Yes, yes.
everything start, they
That's
where you
right. That's
determine
right.
it to start because if you and especially in
I was the old
that, right?
and well, you know, when your parents put a half a head over their heads, you know, you see, I mean, you're the oldest one, you have to carry it,
You see it going
no
on.
whether rain or shine.
Right. So when we are talking about now, that are the levels of the training that brought about the times everybody has to.
I told somebody
Right.
the other day, somebody came in I was at the High Commission in London. They came in and we were talking and so on. And I told them, I said, my training for anything else that I have done started on the my parents could teach me to dig elbows, and we had to dig them with what about yams and daphne and sweet potatoes. They got a piece of stick they could eat them days. You know, just still call it chuka stick.
Especially the one put the arm and
But listen, you put you put it on the chuka stick and chuka anything. You're crazy. No, you can't go home. Yeah, so that's the Doris. Yes,
So
yes. I have been processed in life, man.
So in a nutshell now, Doris now is an example to our sisters and brothers out there with that because they come down when they get to that, they can rise to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I want to underscore that, and this is it. That my parents had this mixture of making sure that we taste, put we hand inside the dirt. And to me, I think more children these days should get taste a mountain, as we would say. So we were on weekends, we would go to the mountains. I remember I used to try to rear my fingernails. And one day, mommy came in. She said, no, no, no. She said, when you finish your exams, and she actually cut off those fingernails, and I had to hit the mountains. Because after a while, you start to think, well, boy, I'm going into Kingstown, you know, riding the buses and so on, and you don't actually want to interact with. No. We kept our feet on the ground. I want to encourage somebody's daughter or son, wherever they are, wherever they're listening to me, that it is possible. If it happened to me, it can happen to you. And that, what do I mean? You go to the mountains, you're able to be processed as a young person, you're able to, you know what I mean, interact with people. That it gives you a balanced view of life.
In other words, no, it doesn't matter where you come from.
I hear you.
It has nothing to do with the height or the level that you can achieve as a person.
Yeah.
Because there are no barriers. Right? Because you're born down there, so in the back wall and down behind around this. So no. It don't matter where you're born, you could become the leader of your own island.
That is true. That is true.
You could become the biggest entrepreneur. You could become the greatest business person. You become the best at anything. That's correct. And you get a balanced view of your life. You're able to, you know, to just do so many things, your own backyard, as you get your own home as you grow. Exactly. You know, nobody, as we would say, could make a style on you because you could push your hand in the dirt as well. You're well rounded. And that is the tenacity. Yeah, the whole, the trade, the remolding of you, the making of you as an individual comes from interacting with the dirt, man, with going in the land, with plowing it, with getting a special kind of training from your parents. Or even taking sometimes to go by the trees, observe the trees, listen to the birds. I mean, this level of nature. Because you see, it is a great thing, you know. See, when you come from such a tradition, it's easy for you now to branch out into the world and don't lose your way. Yes. So that's why I said wrong. Yes, because when I walk the stage in this world, going wherever, United Nations, wherever, Malta,
Geneva, wherever, you're able to have a perspective that sometimes others just sit down and say, wait, why is it that person's behaving like that? But you never lose touch with your roots. I want to encourage
this uniqueness.
I want to encourage you.
Okay, if you
who are in a similar position.
Right. If you are in a musical competition, right? You're singing and the song that you asked was written and sung by someone. Now, the judges will be listening for your originality.
Correct. I hear you.
And that is unique to everyone.
Exactly.
So there is no doubt.
I hear you.
And yourself. Just like Johnny.
Yes, I hear you. I want to thank you very much for that, because I also want to say something about you as well, if you don't mind me saying this. And that is, many years ago, we were crossing the river as children. I don't know if my brother and sisters would remember that, but I remember that very clearly. And as we crossed, as we would say, drove in a banana. That means I had a bunch of bananas on my head. It wasn't too big, but enough that we were going to cook when we go home. And as we journeyed across the river, that Table Rock River was a broad river, because it had a way of spilling out of control. And I don't think my parents had anticipated that.
So we just have to sometimes rainfall.
Way up in the mountain, yes.
Sometimes down here.
And as I journeyed, I remember I keep saying, hold on to me, telling my other sisters, and so hold on to me. But when they holding on to me, the river was pulling us. And out of nowhere, I'm scared. Lift bananas off my head. Lift a bunch of bananas off my head. Two hands again, just lifted us out of the water. It was you. You can't remember. Yeah, it was you. And I'll always remember that, because you were my savior, so to speak, in those times.
I say that is spirit of the ancestors.
Probably is that. Probably is that. But why you more than anybody else?
Give thanks to the spirit of
I'm giving thanks to God. I'm giving thanks to God for that.
This is how we are saying. You are not in a vacuum. Because nothing is in a vacuum. Now this is how we are saying. Every big tree comes from the sea.
I hear you.
And every big man.
Okay. Yes, I hear you.
So why we go and we can mix the one and another for
yes.
Yeah, you talking about that. Then you go
all over the place. Yes, I know. Not really all over the world, but you know how it is.
Because if you live in the land, you connect with people who come from the land.
All right. And so I want to say to our listening audience, 529-8518. 529-8518. You can stop us anytime, call us and interact. So what's today's program's focus? We're dealing with entrepreneurship. And it is true that not all of us are going to be firemen, right? Otherwise, who's going to be the cooks? Who's going to be the farmers? And so on. But all of us have to eat.
I don't rather to you.
Okay.
Okay. Kind of move it up. Okay. Some of us plan, some of us test, some of us value, some of us this, some of us that, some of us that. It is right up to the arts.
All right, I hear you. I want us to focus something now on the fact that my parents were agriculture farmers. They were into agriculture. They were farmers.
They were
entrepreneurs. Yes. And we had Edos, dashing, Chanias, yam, plantings. And your parents used to farm not too far away from the river. And basically the same thing. So who is that? Who is that? What is an entrepreneur? Someone who creates and runs a business. And when an entrepreneur starts a new business, risk is involved. I call it calculated risk. It's a chance of, when you take that, it's a chance of losing something. Because if you plant seasonally. You know, they will follow the McDonald almanac and they will plant and so on. So there's a sort of, it's just sometimes you have a big yield and sometimes not, you know? So, yes.
It is something that is overstandard. Mm-hmm. Because the farmer knows that when he plants, there's a guarantee. He knows if he does not plant, he wouldn't get anything.
I hear you. So one way you can gain a sense of what business is like is by investigating a sort of internship or apprenticeship, and just after the days when slavery were abolished or emancipation, as we would say, and there was an apprenticeship period, so to speak. And some of our farmers were able to, or former slaves were able to take up portions of land and do their own entrepreneurial something. And as we said something last week, that, you know, we, from our Africanness, there is embedded within us that whole concept of entrepreneurial or entrepreneurship. So the biggest reward of becoming an entrepreneur is the personal satisfaction that comes from having the freedom to make your own business decisions and then act them out. And why we're happy on this is because making your own rules, when you own a business, you get to be your own boss. Doing work you enjoy, since the majority of most people's lives is spent working, why not spend that time doing something you enjoy, creating greater wealth. So there's no limit to what an entrepreneur can make, and helping your community. And that I think is where most of us are. After the age of 50 or so, going back to the community to help the community and members of the community to themselves and sort of reconceptualize the whole concept of entrepreneurship. So we want people to continue in that same spirit. You're mentioning one of our stalwarts in the valley, a woman. I hope I don't think she would mind me calling her name, Janelle Foster. And she was working in the bank. And thereafter, she found it necessary to be taken up a section of 28 acres land in government area. That is fantastic because we visited her farm some time ago. And again, she is an entrepreneur, taking risks. There's always that potential business failure.
Before you get that,
yes.
As you talk about taking risks.
Taking risks. Yes.
Now, here's a sister leaving a secured salary.
Correct.
Right? To go into, let's call it a wilderness.
Yes.
Because you never saw it.
You're not so sure.
The weather come and it goes.
And that's it. And you know the waters in this country. When it's rain.
When it's dry. Right? But still, here's a sister leaving a short salary to go on her own.
That's correct.
You see, just our people to try to picture that in a picture, joy it brings to you to do something that you are committed.
So unexpected obstacles will come in, financial insecurity, long hours and hard work.
But sometimes you go to work and buy the budget and get paid.
That's it. That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah.
The element of risk.
Yeah.
But then it's how you calculate the risk, and at the end of the risk, what you could achieve.
That's true. Remember to call us 529-8518. Wherever you are, 529-8518. You're listening to Build the Nation, coming to you live and direct from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 529-8518. So we are going to be looking at entrepreneurship in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over some years back. And I have had the opportunity to speak with my cousin in Canada, Inola, and she was able to give me some very, very helpful ideas. But before we get to that, characteristics of an entrepreneur. And I know we know, but I'm just reminding us that a lot of our business owners had some sort of college education, as you were rightly saying there with Ms. Hoxha. So when they started the business, but more than conservatively, I say more than 60% of business owners use money of their own or from their families to start or buy the business. Slightly more than half of the business owners who had employees worked overtime, 40 hours or more. And about a third of the business owners were, from our estimate, 55 years old. 29% were between 45 and 54. 24% were between 35 and 44 years, and about 12% were between 25 and 34 years. And just about 2% were under 25. So you have people, entrepreneurs, then scattered right through. The other issue is that if you want to be successful and you do a self-assessment, you evaluate your strengths and your weaknesses, because that is important for becoming an entrepreneur. And here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, it is very important in this time of our history, for us to refocus and become entrepreneurs in our own right. You have to have an aptitude, a natural ability to do a particular type of work or activity, or an attitude, which is a way of viewing or thinking about something that affects you, or how you feel about it. So entrepreneurs, we tend to be people with positive attitudes. So it's our positive attitudes that will drive us back to the mountains, back to the lands, Our positive attitudes would say that we're not going to give up. Never mind that the water washed away the crop. Never mind that we had, probably you had somebody stealing the crop. Never mind that you go back again to your positive attitude.
Because many of the time when our people here starting to right? Let us just see how many of our elders became entrepreneurs at the point of at the businesses at the time. Now, you look at your neighbor over there this weekend. You go across there and do some work with the neighbor and take peanuts from the food. And you come out here now, you roast them and you go and buy the food.
What about corn? Those guys, those guys come to buy $300-$400 worth of corn.
No, you don't. You're talking about starting.
You're starting, okay, or without money. Okay, so as we here in Timbits, you what we trust.
Which we not trust. You see you are with nuts. Me got to come work with you. Okay. And me want nuts for my pay.
Right.
We don't want no cash for my pay.
Okay.
We want nuts for my pay. Right? And when we come home with them nuts, me roast them.
And you're going to
sell. Me bag them and me bag them the
Yep.
So next time now, me no never go work with you, me come buy nuts like
you buy nuts,
right? Yeah. No, we come, you see a big potato. We come and we work with you. Right? No. Okay. Potato might require something, no money. You may have to pay in a cash.
But that used to happen more long ago.
That I will tell you about how that is how our people became entrepreneurs. That I will talk about. But today, everybody thinks that you have to have
all the money inside your hand.
To me, the key to this thing is to do something that you can do with your hands, and at the interim, you're doing the bulk of the work.
Build a nation, build a nation, build a nation, build a nation. 529-8518. 529-8518. There are some categories of workers, categories of entrepreneurs, not workers, categories of entrepreneurs that have these categories. They have been with us for time immemorial, and sometimes some people have forgotten. Let me remind you. For example, entrepreneurs within the transportation industry. And my cousin Inola and I were double checking. What about? There's a fellow by the name of James Augustus Kitchener, Providence. He was down in North Leeward and he had owned a bus. He had only not a bus, a North Leeward estate in Belmont, I'm told. And I think he had owned some sort of bus here. Hardy Gums from Bob. Remember them days when you had wood bus? Those guys were entrepreneurs. I have to mention them. His brother was a Prida. Mm-hmm. And we used to go to school sometimes. So when the banana industry was thriving, sometimes we are on the roadsides waiting until they offload the bananas and then they come out. So those, correct. Those guys they were entrepreneurs in their own right. Then you had Cherry S, a fellow by the name of John Smith, Lorna S, or Silma S, yes, Silma M.
That is
same Hopshires people. Right. Then there's a Mr. Graham from Rose Hall. Pinky, either Fordinand or Robinson was that person.
You had the people in Rose Hall was
okay. And Robertson, yes.
And then
in Barley, there was a Lydia D, I understand. And Justice, yes. Then you had Lily Mackenzie, Lillian, right. And then you had Mr. Garden, Beatrix from Shakibile, yes, and so on. Then you had shops, people with shops. You had Erin Matthews from Vermont. He was my stepfather. I had to call his name. He had one of the biggest shops in the Canada. So they had other shops that came in. The Sixon, the other Matthews, then Uncle Terry and others, who supplied goods, dried goods and so on. And yes, there were the typical rum shops as well in the village. All entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Because something went wrong. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. I don't think, even though we were entrepreneurs, we were thinking on a collective level.
That's true. Because the entrepreneurs concentrated on their provision of goods and services.
Yes, in that
products.
Little
yes, for their particular families. Because you had the littles in Belair, Ian Cato, Bust. Then you also had the barber shops. Minch. You tell somebody that name of Minch.
Before we spread out, we have to still kind of identify the problems that we do. Because there was no level of productivity among the players. Look at what I do. I see you at the side of the road. Rose and chicken. And I see people around you. I don't come next to you with a rose and chicken and they compete into the same amount of customers.
Yeah.
I come in there with some food.
I know, took sort of like support, how to compliment the chicken.
You see that?
And it's like a copycat kind of initiative going on.
We compete against each other for the same amount, limited amount of customers.
Within the same space.
Yeah, so we have one by one.
The advice, the advice. And the advice is that these entrepreneurs who have the skills and the aptitude and the attitude towards making a living to complement one another within the society, the communities rather in which we live, especially rural communities.
Where especially when your market space is it's limited.
Absolutely. But I want to touch as well on, and you're spot on, again, 529-8518. 529-8518 is the number to call right here on Bell the Nation. Bell the Nation. Right here, coming to you live and direct from the studios of Bay Hill News Networks. Bell the Nation with your host, Doris Charles. And with me this evening in the studios is Shaka. Rash Shaka. I am always troubled about your full name. He too is one of our great entrepreneurs here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, having a farm down on the area. Oh, there is a caller online. All right. Yes, caller?
Yes,
hello.
Doris, I'm belling the nation right here now.
All right, Bell in the Nation.
Yeah,
Thank you
Bell
for
in the
calling
nation
in.
because I want the nation to step into the light. And you
All
know to
right,
step
great.
into the light, you have a belly nation and you have your belly have full of cocoa tea. Otherwise, you don't step into the light. You stop in the darkness. Now,
I got to ring the bell on that. Yes,
now
go right
I
ahead,
really
please. Yes.
want to make a couple of comments because in my not too long ago, and I'm on program which coming up later, I'm going to expand a bit on this entrepreneurship from the side I see it. But here we're going on now, right? In support of what the INI said now. We have to make a distinction. The people have to make a distinction between how I see it, entrepreneurship, which is a creative activity as far as I see, and people who just come into business because they meet a platform already.
Okay.
Right? Shaka was alluding to that a while ago. Now, because of the situation of most people in St. Vincent, because of the situation where our grand was enslaved or under heavy manners or exiled, okay? We never had the wherewithal to start a business. Our businesses were destroyed, so we have to start from scratch. So the people who I look now as entrepreneurs in my lifetime are people who are creative. They are the same. They're passionate. That is one thing about what they want to do. They had a real knowledge and understanding of what they want to do. They were confident. Because if you're not confident in life, you're going through. You have to do. You're confident, right? They used to plan properly in their own way. And you said this one here, they always vibes up. They're always energetic, ready to go. Right? They learn to manage what little they had properly, whether it's goods or whatever, money or whatever, they learn to manage it properly. And the most important thing, they never gave up. Never. Because failure, they never gave up. So those are the people who I know, the characteristics I know. By growing up, entrepreneurs. I got a Camden Park named Joe Brown, David Brown, grandfather. That man people were doing, they were 7 different things.
As the old people say, you peep in my head with them things. Yeah, come on. Yeah, David Brown, yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, that man was a master, not a jack, a master of several trades and so on. But entrepreneurship is the ability to spot a market, spot a commercial activity, right? Which is not, as Chaka was just saying, following with somebody because somebody make chicken and chips. You go, no, you have to come with something kind of new. That is why they separate entrepreneurship from just doing ordinary business. And entrepreneurship have to be separated because the man who or the woman, God forbid, who come to steal somebody thing, the provision to sell somebody the market and think that's an entrepreneurship activity. That is totally wrong. So you're going very well, exceedingly well. So I want the people them to know that they have it in them, is just to wake them up. And I want to take this opportunity to big up Giselle. I'm still listening to the program. Hang on, lock on the right hand.
All right.
Okay.
Joe Brown was from the. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller.
And this is Bishai from Nature Eye.
Oh, yes, Bishai. Very well, very well.
And
welcome.
The bell the nation.
Yes. Bigging up the nation. Bell the nation. So thank you very much, caller. So from the Camden Park area, that man Joe Brown, he was a farmer. His grandson today is also a businessman, David Brown. And then we have Buddy Brown. Okay. So, okay, I see. Okay.
I don't know if that was
Oh. Okay.
When Yeah.
Yeah. So back in the Camden Park area, so Joe Brown, his grandson now is a businessman, the former politician. So again, there is a mix between your professional life and the life. And he is now, yes, he's a farmer. That's correct, yes. Yes. So these are some of the things, listeners. Some of the areas. Exactly. That's right. That's right. So even if you're trained, professional in some way, this is a way in which, or ways in which you can diversify.
Some time ago, I went to a store and this
529-851. Please call the station 529-8518. Call that number, please, if you're trying to get to me, please. 529-8518. Okay, so yes, you were saying, go right ahead.
She from Thailand went to school in America when we She went in the dump and created a franchise from garbage. And she said,
but this is the thing that bothers me with our young people. Some of them tell you that they don't have anything to do. No, or if you have some housewives, people at home.
Let me go with you, tell them with the education.
With the education, right.
The problem is the education.
I want to say the problem is the education, but okay, explain.
No, they teach us that education is the only route of poverty. Marcus Garvey says this.
Okay.
So now let me look at it. You go to school, spend a big amount of years, and when you come back here, somebody who never went to school at first. Example like Peter and Faith and all that. Right? Because this is the point we're having now. Now, this school is important. That you have to have it. But then, it stifles your creativity.
If you choose, not for everybody enough. If you choose to, if you choose to, because if you go, and I keep encouraging young people when they go to university, and we have had the opportunities that are presented to us. Make sure that when you study, you come away from your studies with a competitive advantage.
Right. Now, here we are reason that. There is more. You go out the earlier years and come back and work for somebody else.
That is true. I am hearing you.
I am saying,
and I'm challenging our young people that when they go to study overseas,
to
employ others,
to create something.
Yes.
But the education system or the curriculum of
curriculum.
No. Yeah. That is not geared to the development of the people. Because
let's go back a bit, because sometimes it is the manpower planning, that aspect of planning with children. I call them children as young as my first child, 30 years. Those children that we send overseas, the manpower planning unit within various ministries or departments should assist.
The curriculum is wrong.
Hold on. It should assist them in saying what they should be going to study and come back. What is a choice sometimes?
The curriculum is
choice sometimes. I partly agree with you there, but the choice sometimes our children are trying to make. That's with the development and the manpower.
Is wrong.
Okay. Two things have to go hand in hand, Your planning process.
But how do you plan? You're planning about you?
No, you have to plan in isolation with the policies of government for the development of the nation.
So this is we have.
So you don't send 15 children to do business management.
Curriculum,
not necessarily so. No, because two people, 15 of them go and do business management. But 3 of them should come back with business management with a focus or a competitive advantage in accounts. Somebody should go back with management, administration. Somebody will come back and do finance. So whenever they come back and you have a business management or a job being offered to them, or they could set up their own thing, their focus is on that particular area.
That is that a guesswork.
But guess what?
Well, let me
if it is planned properly,
let me do it.
Our country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, could be more, it could be better off when our children come back, our young people come back.
Hear my version.
With different specialities, different areas of specialization,
hear my version
so to
now,
speak.
right? We have the instrument of whatever to do sense.
Yes.
To get the competence of the people.
Yes, and I want to touch on that briefly when
so then we will know who or how many is in the kitchen.
But that is what I am saying. Our
education focus.
Our planning, the manpower unit, yes, the planning unit within our various ministries must take into account certain things. I mean, let's zero in a little bit on the constituency of what you call it there, South Leeward, of which we are a part. According to the census, and we're pulling information from 2012. There's a census division here that links towards we are part of the Leyu area, I think it's clarified with one of the statisticians here in St. Vincent. So even though you have a constituency, you have also a census division, yes, and you have various census divisions. So here in this area, some of the information that we pull was drawn from across the borders there. We have about 9,326 persons, 4,620 are males, 4,660 women. And I'm subject to correction with some of the figures that may vary a little bit here and there. But things like what's the percentage of the water supply in St. Vincent that this constituency controls? What's the energy supply? Percentage of the energy needs of Indians and Grenadines. All those things have to be taken into consideration when you're planning before you could send children abroad, because each area has to be developed in a particular way. We have rich agricultural soils that are volcanic in nature. We have mild temperatures that are about we are located probably about over 400-500 feet above sea level. Some community tourism advantages are looking at some key areas here. We have beachfront, we have some villages, we have ecotourism advantage, Vermont nature trails. Remember, just recently we went visiting there. We have an official port of entry, which is the Camden Park Seaport. How many persons were sent? How many children were guided to actually do something like port management? We are miles away from our closest neighbors by air and by sea. How many persons could tell us how many miles away? Our fishing and mangrove areas in the Camden Park, Pickles and Buckingham areas. We have a strong family bonding relationship within these areas. How many persons within this area deal with or have a degree or are entrepreneurs in family planning or even counseling? We may have a handful. And how effective are they being used? Are they setting up any sort of entrepreneurial something to say that persons within these areas can come to them on a regular basis? What about our institutions? And granted, some schools are still closed. We have the Buckingham Bay or Buckingham Secondary School. We have the Camden Park Secondary School. What are the numbers of students on roll? How many nurseries and preschoolers do we have? What are the amount of students there? Primary schools, Clare Valley, Kittles, Buckingham, Seventh-day Adventist Primary, and Buckingham Government. How many teachers are trained in maths and science? How many persons are using their skills as entrepreneurs in those areas? Technical, vocational, and educational training. We have one center. Then we have the community centers in Rilland, Clare Valley, Penistone, and Vermont. And this is just one area we are assessing. How many persons are entrepreneurs in the field of food preparation, and so on, to actually go into these centers? And are those centers really closed? Or are they made available to persons who don't toe the political line? Because we are hearing all sorts of stories that for you to get access to a center, there may be problems getting hold of the keys. Learning resource centers, entertainment centers, hospitals, health clinics. We have, I think, 2 major ones. Police stations, we have 2 major ones. Post offices, financial services. Do we have ATMs? One, I believe, down in that section where the supermarket is. Social and rich indigenous culture. We talked about the Garifuna culture sometime last week, just touch briefly on it. But how many persons are able to set up shops, set up as entrepreneurs, to set up a small Garifuna village and so on? We have the mark stones. We have the petroglyphs very close to the establishment that is now taken over by the gas stations, Cane Grove and Kiddles. And those are 2 entrepreneurs who gravitated towards entrepreneurship in those areas. And there are some weaknesses that we have. High unemployment. Local firms or industries, yes, we have them. A flour mill, we have a packaging for plastics, we have a beauty factory, Guinness and malt, and there's also a paper packaging center. And again, all those are entrepreneurs who went into to capitalize on the unemployment. But how many persons from this area are being employed in those local firms and industries? So
there is a big over.
Yes, so we have inadequate main and feeder roads. We have inadequate CNA facilities. We have inadequate public transportation networks. We have limited restaurant facilities and services. I haven't seen a bookshop or a stationery shop, and we have no abattoir or slaughtering house facility. And what the opportunities that we have? We have the same time zone as the eastern coast of North America, Toronto, New York, Miami. We have the English language. Many of us also can speak Spanish. Habla español. I could only do so a little. Our proximity to the sea and air access. We have an abundant land resource. The areas of growth is in agriculture, as we were mentioning. We were scratching the surface a while ago. Agriculture, fisheries, yes, part of the whole system with agriculture. Ecotourism, renewable energy, continuous education, and tourism. Entrepreneurs to talk. And of course, the threats that we have are natural disasters, river defenses are poor. There's some attempt these days to actually strengthen those river defenses. Effect of the volcanic eruptions, we have hurricanes, threat of them on a yearly basis. Erosion of sea and in the coastal areas, and floods. So I've scratched the surface there with some of the issues, some areas as well that could help us to refocus if only we have a group of persons who sit down and say and help us organize. And here comes Belly Nation on behalf of the National Liberation Movement to help us refocus that we have over 8,000 persons in this area that are, many of whom are underutilized in terms of entrepreneurship. And we have got to target those persons and help them to see that there are areas within agriculture, there are areas within fisheries, ecotourism, renewable energy, and continuous education and training, as well as health tourism. How many health spas in this area?
No, I don't really know, but here what we know. I have
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Now, when I talk about census, I'm talking about how much people we could send out there to be educated to come forward and represent people.
But that is what I'm saying.
Right.
So in agriculture, let me zero in on agriculture.
Right.
Hold stick up in. 529-8518. 529-8518. You're listening to Build a Nation, coming to you live and direct from the studios on the Hill, Bay Hill News Network. And with me in the studios today is Shaka, the one and only Cocotier Bread Man. Is that this is him? All right, okay. Okay. All right, okay, put this clip. All right. Okay. But the point I'm making here is that we are coming to you live and direct, and we are welcoming your calls at this time. 529-8518. 529-8518. But back to the issue with dealing with these, we're looking at some of these bush. We want to dry some of those and fix up our tea bags.
No, what we're asking about inside of this census state,
Yes.
We look around.
So we assess that we have.
We have to look at a coconut.
Okay, so from lemongrass, we now go on to coconut.
Yes. There is something that we can make from this so that we can send the youths out there to study. Now the thing.
But that is the point I've been making from the very beginning. Hear the point I'm trying. Yes, but hear the point I'm trying to make it. The manpower unit within the various ministries should say, we're going to send somebody to study for something with the industry. Send them to be able to make tea bags, to do the machine to make tea bags.
Most important to use materials
that are indigenous here in St. Vincent. Absolutely. So, for example, look the other thing. We have to go on about. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, Doris. I have to come forward.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
Shaka making a point, but don't think the side that they coming from, right? Now, what you said, the education system is the problem. The education system is the problem. You're saying so, but you're not.
I'm hearing you properly. Hold on, I'm hearing you properly. Slow down. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying. You hear me better now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
You hear me better now?
Yes, I'm hearing you better now. Yes.
Right. I'm saying that Shaka made a point which is very, very true. And you confirmed the point without even fully realizing you confirmed the point that the education system is the problem. You have been saying so too, but not recognizing the same.
Of course, I understand the point. I confirm it, I understand it, yes.
I'm not just talking about school. Education is general. Because you said something, very important. You talk about the data, but you're not hearing, you're complaining that the Ministry of Planning is not doing this and that. So the point I'm making is that the Ministry of Planning, under this system, which people like you and I and others are going to change, the system we're changing on another basis, is not geared to educate the people. That's the point Shaka is making. The system is geared to miseducate the people at every level. Because they do not want to empower the people mentally and with knowledge, with real facts. That's the only way they could control the people, by miseducating them. So the data, like for example, I would know, and probably you would know, and other people, some people would know, that same river that Mary carry away, that same river in Vermont, produces the most drinking water for the entire St. Vincent Grenadines. But how many people in South Lee would know that? That's the value of our river in South Lee, that Vermont River.
Mm-hmm.
And we as South Leeward people not making 1 cent benefit from that.
So that
in
is
terms
what I
of
was
being able to have that data to plan properly. How many farms in the valley?
Yes.
How many farms in the valley or outside the valley are irrigated by that river? The water from that river.
Right.
I just draw an example. So if people don't have the data, as you are correctly saying, it cannot be real entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs need something to start and to drive the creativity into.
Okay? Exactly. I think we are looking at it. One of us is saying the glass is half full, the other is saying the glass is half empty. But we are basically on the same page in terms of
whether you have empty or you have full, it having the same quantity of water. The important thing is, where do you want to carry the water level, up or down? That is what you have to decide.
Correct. And I'm saying, through the avenues of the national liberation movement and through the assessments that we have made so far, one of those is giving a bird's eye view as to the resources, the strengths, the weaknesses, and the opportunities and threats that exist within this particular area. There is much room for improvement. I'm also making the point
that is why we bell in the nation. Because if you don't call school and ring the bell, you never get the right education system. You have to ring the bell and call the right school. Okay?
Okay, Bell Nation.
Bell Nation.
Yes, Bell Nation. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Yes, Shaka. So I think we're saying hello. Hello. Is there another call online? Okay. All right. So we continue. So in terms of making an assessment, is there someone on the line? Hello? No, it doesn't.